Hi, I'm Lizzie, and today for my persuasive speech, I'm going to be talking about making healthy choices at college. But first, I'd like to introduce you to my audience.
Hi, I'm Robbie.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Julia.
I'm Willie.
And I'm Emma.
Before arriving at college, I'm sure many people had many different words of advice for you. If it was a sibling or a friend, they probably told you about the memories that they made and the friendships that they formed. But if it was a parent or a grandparent, they probably told you about some things to look out for and be careful of. For example, the dreaded freshman 15. As a student at Penn State, I've learned from personal experience how difficult it can be to make healthy decisions at college. For example, within the first few weeks of being at school, I couldn't find really healthy foods that I could keep up with my diet that I had at home, and it quickly turned really cold and I realized, wow, I need to get a gym membership. I learned firsthand how difficult it can be to stay fit in college. In an article from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, it states that 2 in 3 adults are overweight or obese. My thought is that if we can come up with better eating habits and better decision making in college, then we can hopefully eliminate some of those bad eating habits, and we can then reduce that huge percentage of people who are overweight and fix this weight gaining problem. I have just 3 ideas, though, that I think you might agree with that would be great to implement to Penn State in order to reduce to better college students' health and to reduce the weight gaining problem. Those 3 ideas are: 1, to implement healthier food choices in the dining areas and commons, and 2, it would be to provide labels for all the different prepared foods of what's in them, how many calories, sodium levels, and sugars. And 3rd, I would like to eliminate or reduce the fee to join the gym. With that being said, I'm going to start by talking about how big a problem, the true problem of weight gain and obesity in college campuses, and the urgency in making the changes that I've suggested. Author John Casey for WebMD states, "It's difficult to imagine a standard coming-of-age experience that involves more change, more stress, and more personal challenge than freshman year of college." I think that many of you can agree. When you got to college, you weren't worried about what you were eating. You were worried about making friends, about moving into your dorm room, and about your classes and due dates. Food and your eating habits really didn't come first. And that's why a lot of kids will make bad decisions when they are choosing which foods to eat. For example, in September 2012, article by Amy O'Connor for Health.com, she conducted a study at Auburn University, which followed students for the course of 4 years. And through this, she found that 70% of students gained an average of 12 pounds. 12 pounds may not seem like that much, but it's the habits that they developed that caused them to gain those 12 pounds, and those habits will often continue after college and cause them to gain even more weight. Also, many people think that gaining weight is a short-term issue and not a long-term issue. Gaining weight can cause many problems later in your life. For example, according to a 2012 website article from the National Institute of Health, the more body fat you have and the more you weigh, the more likely you are to develop coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and even in some cases, certain cancers. Also, in a blog post from the New York Times, author Nicholas Barkler states that a new study has found that even in young adults of a normal weight, increases in body mass index also lead to an increased risk of cardiovascular and other diseases. So as you can see, this information just proves my point that weight gain in college is a serious issue that needs to be stopped. And if we all make the decisions, if my plan is implemented and others will be better equipped to make healthier decisions, and this weight gain problem can be addressed. Now that I've talked about the problem that we have and the urgency in fixing it, I'd like to talk about my idea for a way to fix this issue. I have just three things that I think that Penn State should implement, so that, and I think you might agree that with these three implementations that others will be able to make better decisions and that the weight gain problem can be addressed. And for that, I bring to you my visual. Okay. My first step would be implementing healthier foods in the dining areas and commons. I often see that in the dining commons there's a lot of fried food and foods with butter and sodium and oils. If we can get rid of some of those, I think it would be very helpful. I also think that we need more fresh foods and vegetables. Sometimes we have those vegetables, but they're not very fresh and high in nutrients. They look somewhat old. And I think if we could keep on top of these fresh foods, then more people would be inclined to pick those vegetables and fruits because they look fresh and everyone pretty much wants to be healthy. I also think that if we changed the regular fries for sweet potato fries, that could help some too. By adding a few more salad bars, I also think that would be a great idea. And lastly, as part of my first step, I think that in vending machines, since a lot of college students are eating on the go, if we could put healthier snacks in the vending machines, then a lot of college students would be able to make better decisions when they need a quick snack. My second improvement to Penn State would be providing consistently available and accurate nutritional labels on all the foods. Sometimes students will say that they aren't able to manage their weight because they don't know what they're eating, basically. With labels, they would be able to see exactly what they're eating and better be able to manage their weight and health. They could see how many calories are in their meals, how much sodium, how much sugars, and stay on top of their diet. My third idea and my last proposal would be to eliminate or reduce the fee of a gym membership. If at our school at Penn State, it's $60 per semester and it's over $100 for the entire year. If the gym membership fee was reduced or eliminated, then I feel like many more students would be motivated or encouraged to go to the gym. If they were already paying for the gym within their tuition, they would be very likely to use it, I believe, and I think you might agree. As you can see, with just 3 changes, I believe that the health of Penn State students can be seriously helped, and with your help in supporting my proposal, I really think that Penn State will start to listen to us. As I've stated before, by implementing healthier dining options, providing nutritional labels, and lowering the cost of on-campus gym memberships for Penn State students, just with these 3, we can reduce weight gain and also improve the health of our college students and hopefully other campuses as well. If you agree with what I've spoken about today, I'd like you to sign the petition that I'm going to hand out. Thanks for listening.